Hey, good afternoon, folks. I'm Steve, your host with the Let's Go Fishing Show. I've got two gentlemen here I'll introduce to you. I've got to my right is Mike Jolly, fisheries biologist for Region 3. And I've got Ben Davis, law enforcement officer, TWRA official for Region 3. And I'm glad to have both these gentlemen with us tonight, and we'll be getting back to them here shortly. I do want you, if you've got a law enforcement question or something you want to ask Mike here about the stocking program, what TVA's got going on, or TWRA, excuse me, has got going on right now, he'd be more than glad to answer that for you. That's why he's up here, to help us fishermen, and same thing with Ben, to help us make sure we don't make a mistake out there and keep us all safe. So I'm real tickled to have both of these gentlemen here with me tonight, and so if you be thinking about some good questions you want to ask them later on, we're going to show a little short fishing film, and I've got a couple of announcements I'm going to make right here. Remember the Tennessee Sportsmen's Association, Jack Raines, he's the president of that organization right now. They're going to elect new officers and so on, so forth. Jack Raines, 457-6665. You need to give Jack a call if you've got any questions about that or what's going to happen. That's a good organization. We need to find out more about it, support it, and I may have to. I'll get Jack on the show one night. The announcement, the second thing I wanted to remind you guys, in Morgan County way, Morgan County bass anglers are looking for new members. Bert Sumner is the president of the club right now. His phone number, 865-228-8372. Call Bert. You people out in Morgan County way, they're looking for new members to get in their bass club out there. So if you're interested, give them a call. Get up with Bert and you know, get involved in that out there. Got a good thing going. They just want to continue it. We're going to go to this short film, and it is short because it was me trying to catch some bass on Watts Bar day before yesterday, and the wind just you know, was a killer. So that didn't work out very well, but there is some fish being caught down there. The crappie fishing still going good on Watts Bar. Been a lot of crappie caught still yet in different methods, you know, like we've talked before. So Courtney, take us to the film. Down here on Watts Bar today. It's a little cool this morning. We're going to try to catch a few bass, try to get some tips on what's going on, some kind of idea what these fish are doing. And I hope you stay tuned, and we'll see what happens here today. We're going to try to find some fish, so just bear with me. We may catch some, we may not. So we'll be looking forward to the day anyway. See you later. Bye. Hey, hello, folks. Let's go fishing. So even though it's a little cool today, we're down here on Watts Bar. We're going to try to catch a few bass and try to make you a film for the show tonight, Thursday night. So bear with us. We hope to find a few fish, and I'll let you know what we get them on, when we get them, that kind of thing. So just bear with me, and we'll hopefully have a good day. Hey folks, we pulled in down here at local steam plant. I made a couple of casts, caught those nice stripe back-to-back casts, so I thought I'd put it on the film. I hadn't had a bass bite yet, but we do got a lot of time left, so let me see if I can catch these stripe here and get a couple of bites, and let's see what's going on with that. They're a lot of fun to catch, so if you get down here and have them struggling, you want to have some fun, be a good place to bring some kids, young people, and catch one out of every cast. Well, there's another one, folks. Like I say, these stripe are fun to catch, pretty good size. You can get them feeding, you can get one about every cast. Low crankbait. I hadn't tried anything else. Rattle trap probably would work fine. This is a little Petey's crankbait, and but they're just here. You know, the water's warmed up coming out of the plant here, and they get out here on this point, and you can just have a ball with them, you know, if you like to catch them. I'm gonna leave here shortly, and I'll get another one or two here, and then I'm gonna go. birds on that. I hope the camera's in the correct position. It will, you can get one about every cast. You can get them up feet. Just like that. It don't take but a second. Yeah. Oh, they're nice ones. And they're pretty spunky. Well, didn't get one on that cast. I'm disappointed. There you go. Got to go to the right place, I guess. I'm gonna move around here and let one of them take my plug, and I won't be really mad. Okay, folks, I've had enough of that, so I'm gonna take a little break here and move on down the lake and see if I can get into some bass. And we'll hope to get back with you shortly. Hey, folks, we've loaded up. Wind's been blowing pretty rough all day. It's been hard fishing out on the channel, and I came up here in the creek. I've flipped a little bit. I've jerk baited. I've thrown rattle traps. Just caught a couple of small bass. Didn't even have a chance to get the camera running when I did get them. So it's a pretty bad trip other than the stripe fishing. Like I said, that's a lot of fun, but that's not what we're after right now. Saw a lot of people still catching crappie, Caney Creek area, in the steam plant area there, Kingston. So they're still biting. Just got to find them. I want to thank all my sponsors, and you people, when you go into these sponsors' business, please mention the show, the Let's Go Fishing show. Please let them know that you're watching and you appreciate the show, appreciate them sponsoring. And we'll see y'all Thursday night, and goodbye. All right, folks, back with us. Kind of a poor bass film. But the stripers, like I said, are really biting good. That water's warmed up, coming out of the discharge there at the steam plant. While I was there, several boats over in the slough there catching crappie. But those stripers had loaded up on the point. I kept hoping the bass would show up with them, but they never did. That's a good place to get into a bunch of bass right there at the right time. I just may have been just a little bit early or what have you, but we'll get back down there. I've got to find those bass. I'm tired of these guys beating me down there all the time. So I've got to locate them. And I hope you guys been thinking about some questions that you want to ask these two gentlemen. And we're going to go to a short break right here, give them time to get their lips wet with some water and be ready. And we'll come back in a few minutes and get some questions. I'm up here at Edgemore Outdoors, and I got Jim Williams the owner. Jim, good to have you.
Good to have you.
Good.
Good to be on the show.
All right, great. Jim's kind of camera shy, so we'll bear with him, and we're going to talk about a little bit about his tackle store here. Jim's got a nice bait shop, and he's got live bait, all kinds of artificial bait. He's got marine oil sitting on the shelf. You know, you can stop here and get about anything you need to get to the lake. So come by, talk to Jim. and question him about this point system he's got. Yeah.
We have a point system. You can earn 3%, which goes to future purchases to the store. When you get ready to cash your points in, we write you a gift certificate to the store. It's just like cash.
Oh, heck, so you need to do that for sure. Get with Jim on the point system, and I think once you come in here, you're going to be stopping in a lot more. There's no need driving a long ways to get stuff that Jim's already got. He's affiliated with Bass Pro Shop. If something he doesn't have, they can get up there. He can order it for you, whatever. And you know, he's a local businessman here, and we need to support him. And we're looking for all you guys in this Claxton area to get over here and visit Jim's shop and get on this point system. I think you're going to be well pleased. And also, too, Jim has chatterbaits now. I forgot to mention this last week. They're 20% off, and he's got a bunch of them. Boxes of them, right, Jim?
Yep.
Okay. And if you let them stay here too much longer, his wife's going to make Jim start using them for whatever. I don't know. Maybe
that might not be too bad. She can run the store and I'll go fishing.
All right. And your son caught a what? How big?
Oh, he caught a 9.7 pound largemouth at Chickamauga yesterday.
Oh man, I saw the picture of it on the phone. Beautiful bass, beautiful bass, huge bass. So that's good to hear, Jim. And Jim had a customer in here just a second ago, Tommy Moore. I fished against Tommy a lot on North. Good fisherman up there on North Lake, and he hadn't been. I couldn't get a fishing report from him, but hopefully somebody will call in tonight and give us one. Jim?
Now that point system is 3%.
3%.
That's what it averages out to, yeah.
Dang, that's a sale every time you buy something there,
Yes.
Jim. That sounds good. Well, listen, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Steve.
And I want to thank you for sponsoring the Let's Go Fishing show. And you people come by and shop with Jim and his wife here, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
See you guys.
Okay, folks, we're back. Let me give you some fishing reports right quick before we turn on the telephone. Man, they're killing the bass on Chickamauga right now. 9-pounders, whatnot. You heard that from Jim over at Edgemore Outdoors. His son caught one. I think it was over 9 pounds. I saw a picture a few minutes ago of another one over 9 pounds. So Chickamauga's hot, just like it has been the last couple of years. And my guest here to my right contributes a lot of that to the grass. We all, us bass fishermen, always know that. And they catch a lot of crappie out of the grass down at Chickamauga. So fishing's good on Chickamauga. Crappie's good on Watts Bar. Even the bass are good on Watts Bar. It's taking over 20 pounds to win a 5-fish limit to win a tournament. So there's people catching them, and so if you get an opportunity, you need to get out there and get your hook wet and see if you can't find something. So right now, what we're going to do is Courtney's going to turn the phone on for us and put the number on the screen, and we're going to take questions. And then if somebody doesn't call in real quick, I've got a couple of questions I want to ask Ben over here about some measurements. So Courtney, how about putting us on the phone, will you? All right, is the phone ready? Okay, I'm going to ask Ben Davis, our TWA officer here. Ben, I've had some questions put to me in the last little bit about measurements, and I've thought about this, and I want to know, is there a standard ruler that TWRA uses to measure fish by?
The simple answer to that would be no. We don't have a set instrument that we use to measure fish. I think most of our officers typically have something along the lines of one of these golden rules. They're real easy to use. Mm-hmm. They're easy to keep in a boat, and we can utilize this one instrument for measuring several different species of fish. I know this time of year with a lot of people that are crappie fishing, some of these easy checkers, the crappie checkers, they're real popular for the crappie. They're easy to handle a crappie, but on a crappie, 10 inches is 10 inches. We don't really care if you use a tape measure or a piece of string or some marks on your boat. Doesn't really matter to us. We just want you to try your best to get a fish that's 10 inches or better, or turn it back loose as quick as you can.
All right, let's go to the phone and see what we got here. Hello, you're on there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was calling about this crappie measurement.
I hope you're somewhere where you can watch the screen. We're discussing that right now. Do you have a specific question you want to talk about?
Yeah, they're talking about this crappie measurement.
Right, sir. Do you see the easy measures we've got up here and the golden rule?
Yeah, but now see, if they're going to have the crappie cuts, why can a game warden measure with a bass ruler like a golden ruler? They shouldn't be able to do that because it's totally different.
That's a question that we've got. Let me ask you this: when you use one of these quick measure deals for the panfish, and then you put that same fish on the golden rule, does it not touch? Is it not 10 inches?
It's totally different if you take and use a crappie cup and use a bass ruler, because I fish all these tournaments and it's totally different.
Mm-hmm. Ben, I'm going to let you keep addressing that. Ben's the officer in charge of all that. I'm going to let him answer those questions.
Well, again, like I said before, 10 inches is 10 inches on a crappie. It doesn't matter if you measure a crappie in a crappie cup or if you measure it on a golden rule or if you use a Stanley tape measure. 10 inches is simply 10 inches. If you have some discrepancy between your crappie cup and something else that you know to be 10 inches, then as a sportsman, you should want to err on the side of caution and only keep those fish that you know are going to be they're going to meet that 10-inch requirement.
Well, here was the thing. The other day we was keeping them 10 1/4, and Dollar Tree, the game warden, was saying it was only 10 inches, and we went back Sunday and we was throwing them back 10 1/4 just because we was worried about getting a ticket fine. Because 10 1/4 inch fish, and it measures out just right at 10 inches on the golden ruler. That's not right.
Well, I'm not going to speak for any other officer, but I will say that most, I don't know any of our officers that aren't going to, try to give you as much of the benefit of the doubt as possible. If we think that you're making a good faith effort to measure those fish, we're going to try to give you as much credit for that as we can.
What do you think, callers? That pretty well clarify what they're looking at?
Yeah, I would say they're doing their job, but I got another question. This is what I was worried about, too, is down there at Canyon Creek, where the Lighthouse bar is, you got all those cops down there training their dogs, and stripes come down there at the end, like at the middle of March and the end of it, and we can't even fish down there because the cops run us off because they're training their dogs, and that's water we can fish.
I wasn't aware of anything like that.
I'm not aware of that particular situation. I apologize.
We need to take that up with the police department, and Ben's got to make a note of that. And will you investigate that, Ben?
We will.
All right.
No question.
Because they've been doing that for 2 years now.
And like you say, it's almost getting time for the stripe to run, and they head up those creeks for sure. Ben will check into that for him, and he will get back with me on what you people have asked, and he'll get back with me, and I can report it to you the next week or when he does get back with me.
We'll get you an answer to that question.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, sir. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
All right. Okay. Now, Mike, let me see. I want you to tell us a little bit about the stocking program, what you got going on at Watts Bar.
Sure, Steve. We're back in 2011. We started a walleye stocking program there, and we had traditionally stocked sauger in the reservoir, and they became really difficult to propagate a lot of times, and the brood fish were hard to acquire, and then also just mortality on the adult fish, trying to get them to the able to spawn out and get some fry and some families to stock. And we stocked 220,000 walleye in 2011, and then we were able to put in another 300-something thousand in 2012. So we're over 550,000 walleye now. So we're really excited about that. We have the walleye on average live longer than the sauger. Therefore, it would offer more opportunities for the angler, and also they achieve a larger size. And we hope that with Watts Bar being so diverse, not only in the habitat but with a good forage base, that it'll be a win-win situation out there. And last year, when we were doing some netting surveys on the upper end of Watts Bar, we observed several of those walleye that we've stocked, and they will get to that 16-inch size in a couple of years. You know, some of the fast growers. So we hope to continue that, and we'll be looking at that through some surveys that we will conduct in the next few years to see if that program is indeed working out well, and hopefully offer some new and good fishing opportunities for the anglers out there.
Well, that sounds good for the walleye population. I really do like that. Let's take another call and see what we got. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, hey, I've got a question for Mike Jolly over there. I was wondering if, I seen where he had talked about a perfect storm down on Chickamauga. Is there going to be any perfect storms coming up on Watts Bar or any of our other lakes? I'll hang up and let him answer.
All right, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, that's a good question. And the article that gentleman's referencing there is I got interviewed earlier this week about some of the results in Chickamauga.
This key is programmed.
The CBA tournament down there. Some of our guys went and worked it to get some fin clips for some genetic surveys of fish over 8 pounds. We had 17 fish over 8 pounds, so I got asked by Richard Sims, who works for Edgemore Outdoors down there, and talking about the perfect storm being right now that we've stocked over 2 million Florida largemouth since the year 2000 down there. And also the aquatic vegetation on Chickamauga has really been increasing, and also the forage base down there. So all those elements have come together to really achieve a sport fishery down there right now with a largemouth that's really unsurpassed about anywhere around. So to get that perfect storm in other reservoirs, I think you would have to have some really good recruitment, some really good spawning years. Another thing that happened on Chickamauga was in 2003, because of the high water levels in the spring, the fish, not only the largemouth but the crappie as well, got off a really good spawn. And those fish were breeding adults by the year 2006. So with those getting another good bumper crop of fish. I think Watts Bar, the neighboring reservoir to the north of Chickamauga, also seen a really good year class in 2003. However, the aquatic vegetation is a very limiting factor on Watts Bar, as you know, Steve.
Right, sir.
And back in the late 80s, Watts Bar was really on fire because of a lot of the grass. But I do think that that those elements have to line up, and the size limits and all that, the sustainability has to be there. It's hard to say, but as I was telling Steve before the program, we have a lot of diversity in Tennessee with different species, and I think there's some good candidates out there to do that right now. And I think some of them may be close to Chickamauga, Nickajack and Watts Bar, for instance. Thank you for your call.
All right, Mike. Thanks. That sounds good. We had a caller there. We must have lost him. If somebody else will call in. And we all know the grass was killed out on Watts Bar in the late 80s, and also in Chickamauga, because all bad things flow downstream. So when you get it in the upstream levels, it goes right on down. So they told me on Gunnersville down there one day, a shop dealer said they had permission to, I think, spray 30 acres or maybe 3,000 acres. Well, you put 3,000 acres in up here upstream, how many more acres is that stuff carrying, downstream as it goes? So you never know what you're going to get. When you dump it in there, you don't know what you're going to get. So that's what happened to the grass. But we hope it comes back in Watts Bar, and we'll take his call and see what happens. Oh, sorry, Courtney. Okay, now we got it. I'm getting too fast on the button, people. Hello. Do you have a question?
Yeah, hey, I was calling to see what's going on with the grass that's growing down at Milton Hill and what's going on up at Norris. So I'll hang up and let your biologist answer.
All right, good question. Thank you, sir. Okay, Mike, I guess he's wanting to know about the grass.
Yeah, I guess the thing about Mountain Hill and the other reservoir reference there is in a different region that's out of our realm of work. But, you know, I know one thing with Mountain Hill through some observations I had last summer is the zebra mussels have really infested that place and having a lot of trouble at the Mountain Hill Dam up there with zebra mussels. And, of course, they filter a lot of the water out and take a lot of the nutrients out and different things, which has, you know, severe impacts, especially on, depending on what kind of nutrient level that reservoir has, if it's high or low, what kind of impact it's going to have. But I wish the gentleman would have told me exactly what his observations up there were with that. But I know with Watts Bar, let's take Eurasian milfoil for example. It's real cyclic, and in the drought years is when it's really going to promote that growth to get that stuff reestablished in there. A lot of times during your heavy rains and heavy flows, it scours the bottom out. We've seen it happen on Cordell Hull in the last few years. I had a really good aquatic vegetation, mostly Eurasian milfoil in that reservoir, and through some of those heavy floods a couple, 3 years ago, like that impacted Nashville, has really scoured a lot of that out, and it's going to change the dynamics of that, especially for the young fish and also the forage fish. So I would tend to think that in the Mountain Hill situation, I know that we lecture fish below Mountain Hill Dam, and there's a lot of milfoil in that area right there. And if you like to fish for drum, I advise you to go to that place too, because that's the most drum I've ever seen in one place. But hopefully that answers the gentleman's question. But that's what we're observing on the reservoirs in Region 3.
All right. My comment on that is, I know in the headwaters, just like right at Milton Hill Dam, the water fluctuates so much. It may drop, you know, they drop a foot at Watts Bar Dam, but it will drop 4 foot at Milton Hill, and that does affect the grass growing up there. But you know, I'm no biologist, but I know grass doesn't like to be out in the sun.
It doesn't.
And
one thing about the reservoir, Steve, is they're not a natural environment, you know, and it's those water fluctuations and stuff you talk about that's really hard on promoting that growth, you know, for the grass, and it also can have severe implications on what kind of spawn in the springtime, whether that water is stable or whether it is doing the yo-yo and can have very negative effects. 2003 year class that I referenced earlier, the reason that was so prolific was because those waters were full and stable because of all the rains. They didn't get yanked down very quick, and it was at a good time conducive to spawning.
well, that's good. You know, that's you and I both know we can't do a whole lot with the water fluctuation for generation purposes and that kind of thing, and keeping the aquatic life below the dams healthy too. So we got to keep some water running, but it does have a detrimental effect on grass right below Milton Hill Dam. But it's getting started up there, and it's doing really good. Yeah. And you can see in the Kingston area, the small bits of grass flowing downstream. Well, those are going to go somewhere and take root, and so that's what we need. And that's why Chickamauga has really come on in the last few years, in my opinion, because the grass has come back down there. It's kind of like Gunnersville. You know, the grass has been good at Gunnersville, and the fishing's been good down there, and Chickamauga now is following suit and probably offering bigger or more bigger fish than Gunnersville is right now. So if you're a grass fisherman or a bass fisherman and you're hunting a good trophy, Chickamauga is a good place to be.
That's definitely true.
And no question about it. So we're going to take any more. Mike, what about any other stocking programs you got? I hate to cut Ben out over here, but he's done. I think Ben done. He's done messed my crappie fisherman up. But you know, let's talk about the crappie stocking program.
Sure. We've got several stocking programs across the state, and within Region 3 we have several in different reservoirs, and stocking, as you would think, is to augment populations of the different species of fish that may need it. To talk about one that's close to here, Watts Bar with the crappie, and we go out every fall on a lot of our reservoirs and do a fall trap netting survey, and that gives us an idea about what kind of crappie spawn we had. And Watts Bar has had several failed year classes of crappie over the years, and so in 2010 we were able to go in there. The white crappie got a pretty good spawn off in 2010, and we were able to also augment the black crappie with a stocking of black nose crappie. And 2010 and 11 and 12 combined, we've stocked over 350,000 black nose crappie in the Watts Bar. Should be an excellent spring to go this year. Like I said, the white crappie had a good spawn in 2010, and they will be in that krillable, keepable size this spring.
All right, good deal. Let's take a call and see what we got here. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I was wanting to find out from your representative there why they haven't opened up Hall Ridge Park where you could drive down to where you could fish off the old bridge there when they built that ramp down there for bicyclers and all that other stuff, and whereas used to you could drive down there and fish off the old bridge, and there was a lot of people that fished down there and that couldn't get out to some of these other places to fish. And also, why did they tear the pier down up there in Bull Run Creek where the old pier was, where they went across the cove there and built up all that over there to where you could, the ramp was, where people could go over and they had their own little beach.
Them's good questions, because we have had people call in and want to know that don't have boats and whatnot, where they could go and fish. Ben, can you give us any insight on his question?
I really can. I apologize. I'm not familiar with that particular trail myself, or what's going on there at that trail.
The fishing pier in Bull Run Creek. Can you get us some answers to that?
I can, absolutely.
All
absolutely.
right. Caller, will that be satisfactory if we get you some word on that and Ben get back with me and
Yeah, it may be a little before his time or whenever, but I mean it's only been a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ask him one thing there. Is it against the law to take a night crawler, say fishing, and blow it up with a syringe, put air bubbles in it, which I've heard it is against the law in Virginia?
I don't know that to be against the law. That's the first time I've heard of that, but as far as I know, that's okay for you to do.
All right, caller, we'll get you.
Are they thinking about changing the rules on the clinch below North and Clinton to where they take all those regulations out, where it just more or less it seems like Trout Unlimited is taking over that stream?
You may want to call Region 4 and with all those questions, because they've got the personnel there to answer.
Yeah. Listen, caller, call Region 4, get you a fishing guide. The numbers are there, and call up there and talk to those people about that Clinch River between that feeds Milton Hill there, because that is in Region 4, and these guys, they wouldn't, if they gave you an answer, it wouldn't be for sure, because they're in Region 3. But if you would call them, but they'll check on this fishing pier and stuff for you and get back with me, and we'll let you know something next show, hopefully.
Well, I think it's a shame that they put a limit on like they did going with that slot limit when the Clinch River more or less produced, almost they produced a state
limit or size?
Well, they had you more or less had a state record brown trout up there, and then they stuck all these limits on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making it where you have that slot limits, and which people went up there to catch trout, and they paid for those trout with their licenses, and through the stores where they bought their baits and everything, think it's a shame that they let Trout Unlimited come in there and put those limitations to them, which they think that, you know, if you ain't using a fly rod or whatever, you know, you're not a fisherman. But they forget that used to, when it started out, people used a cane pole and a float and bait, not fly rods.
Right. Understand.
And I think it's a shame that they let them come in there and take over these trout streams like they have.
Bart Carter is the man you want to talk to. And if you've got one of those new Tennessee fishing guides, second page over, it's got his phone number and stuff up there. But he's the guy you want to talk to. He can answer your question and help you in about anything on that end of the county or the end of the state that you want to talk about. Give him a call. He's a good guy. I've talked to him several times here in the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's here to help us. He really is. So give him a call.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Let's see. Yellow. You still?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I would like to know about, like, if you're catching them trout out of Pond Creek, if it's bad to eat them or anything.
Catching the stripe, Mr. Biologist. Is it bad to eat them?
Well, there's some old. Actually, there's nothing new on the contaminant thing, and that's there's just some advisories out there. Depends on where you're fishing at, and there's in a fishing guide here, it's got several listings of different areas. Would be on page 30 right there, and gives different what the pollutant is, what county, you know. So depending on where you're fishing, would dictate what kind of warnings or whatnot they may have for that.
Well, it would be Brown County besides Butler Store.
He's talking about there along Blair Road, which is Poplar Creek. Yeah. And if you're looking at that guide, it does give you some signs there. And I know that area well. That's not far from my house, and there's a lot of every spring the banks are covered with people. Then catching, and it's fun to catch them. And I'm sure a lot of people eat them. I would like to be down there myself, but I'm afraid I'm afraid I might get hooked or hook myself because it does get crowded. But it's a good place to catch them. And when they start running, get in there and get them. That answer your question?
But can I ask you, how come the new license has got 3 kill tags on them, even though this is not dealing with fishing?
Ben, can you elaborate on that question?
I'll attempt to, and this is something that's new for all of us. So we're trying to implement a new checking-in system where you'll have a log on your license when you receive your license. You'll still check things in as you have in the past, all the different means you can, whether it be the internet or you can take it by a local checking station. That log is provided to you to be able to keep up with what you've got, your confirmation numbers that you may get if you check it in over the phone, by the internet, and things of that nature. But for the most part, you're going to check any of your big game animals in the same way that you have in the past.
Is that good enough?
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. We appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, caller.
Hey, I'm doing fine. Hey.
Hello. All right. Courtney, take us to break, will you?
But let's go fishing. I'm buying a bunch of marine down here today, and just wanted to give you a little update on what's going on. They're preparing for another boat show, so if you get a chance and need to come by or need something, come by here and look at these beautiful boats they got. They've got Rangers, got Tritons, they've got the South Bay pontoon boat for you pleasure boaters. They've got the Bryant bow rider. So come by here and check them out. They have the Triton aluminum boat, and they also have the Low aluminum boat. So get by here and see Curtis and his staff, and if you need something in the boat line, come by here and check with them. They've got a nice display here of boats for you to look at, and I'm sure they'll do everything they can to satisfy your needs. And we want to thank them for being a sponsor on the Let's Go Fishing show. Thank you. We're going to show you just a little bit of what happens when you go fishing. I got Dusty, Matt, Rusty, excuse me. Got Rusty and Matt and Jace. And listen, I hope you can see what's going on here. We're dropping these crappie fillets in this hot oil. So we're going to have a little bite to eat here in a few minutes. And these guys went out yesterday evening. I'm going to let them tell us about their fishing trip.
Well, you know, we just kind of, it's pretty cold and water temperature around 42 degrees. And we've been spending the past couple of months putting brush piles out. We wound up catching them in about 14 foot of water, mainly on jigs. We caught them on a green weenie grub that Donna sells up here. I guess we kept one a dozen or so.
About a dozen, keep it.
In about an hour and a half.
Oh man, that sounds good. Rusty, you got anything you want to add to that? I mean, other than, man, it's almost eating time.
I didn't have a big enough suitcase, and I didn't have near enough clothes on yesterday. I about froze to death, but it was worth it, and the show will be worth it here in about 30 minutes.
All right, guys. Man, boy, they're smelling good. I'm telling you, people, if the crappie are biting on Watch Bar, and the film I've got for the show tonight will be also about the crappie trip that took place Sunday. So we're going to get back in here. If you need some bait, tackle to catch these fish, come on down here and see Donna Joe. She's got a nice store here, and it's packed full of fishing supplies of all types, rods, reels, any kind of tackle that you think of. So come give them a call and check with them, visit with them, and look around, and I guarantee you they'll help you find what you're looking for to catch these crappie. Thank you. Hey folks, I'm here at Reynolds Racing and Marine here in Harriman, and Glenn's got this beautiful Phoenix boat sitting here under his shed, and got it uncovered here, and I thought I'd just get a picture of it and let you look at it, give you some of the features on it. It's the Pro 721 XP, got a 250 on it, and Mercury. Man, it's a nice looking boat. You need to stop by down here at Glenn's and check this Phoenix boat out. I don't know a lot about them. I know it's pretty, is all I can tell you. I haven't rode in one. Can't wait till I do. So come by down here and see Glenn, check out the Phoenix boat, and check out the other brands if you're looking for something else besides the Phoenix. See what Glenn's got. You know, he's got Allison's, Bullets, got the Express aluminum boat. So come on by and check with Glenn, see what he's got to offer, and I'm sure he'll do his best to take care of you. And remember, Glenn, he's one of the sponsors on the Let's Go Fishing. Thank you. All right, folks, we're back. Phone's not lit up, so Ben, I want to give you something to talk about. Tell us about this free fishing day.
Every year, Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, we have a free fishing day. This year it falls on June the 8th, all day on June the 8th. Anybody that's a resident of the state of Tennessee can fish waters of the state of Tennessee without having to have a valid fishing license. Also, children ages 15 and younger can fish between June 8th and June 14th without a license. It's free fishing week for anybody that's 15 years of age and under. So good opportunity to take a young one out, take them fishing, introduce them to a sport that they can take for a long time.
Oh, I love it. That sounds good. Like we say, let's get them hooked on something good.
That's right.
You know, man, that sounds good, Ben. And I want to iterate a little bit on what you just said. Get a Tennessee fishing guide so that you can remember them dates about the free fishing day, and then, you know, what was that on the 15 days before, or 30 days there that a 15 and under could fish for free?
It's June 8th through June the 14th.
Okay.
Again, anybody that's 15 years of age or younger, they can fish free without a license during that time frame.
Well, that sounds good. We'll have to remember that, because we are going to be doing some kids things here on the show,
as time goes on. One thing I want to mention, right, being we're talking about that, I've got a tentative date with the Oliver Springs High School Bass Club Monday night to come down and do a little film with them. You guys are well aware of these high schools now have bass clubs, so we're going to be getting some of those people on the show.
That's great.
It's a real good thing. We just got to follow up on it and get them here. Clinton, Morgan County, I think Rockwood's got a fishing club now, and it's a real good thing going on here with these young people, and that's just something we're going to follow up here on the show. Okay, Mike, we've only got a few more minutes. Can you tell us any more about do you want to speak about the stocking program? We've got the walleye, and I love the walleye, so I can't wait till I catch some of them.
Yeah, we hope that program does well. Like I said, we're going to be investigating it, so to speak, to look at it. But, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about our hatcheries and our hatchery personnel, and what an outstanding job that they do to be able to raise all these variety and species of fish that the fishermen get a benefit from. It's several hundreds of thousands of fish, raised each year, and it's our job to go out there and with my crew, and got a good crew to go out there and look and see where that need is. And a lot of times we're limited by our hatchery space, in the state. But with the walleye thing right there, for reasons I mentioned, that's one right here close that we have some high expectations on right now. And we hope it pans out for everybody.
All right, we'll take one more call here. Yellow. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I was one called last week about having a boat dock put in down Little Emery, and they said they'd have somebody on there that I could talk to about the boat dock. Is anybody on there to talk to about it?
Yes, sir. Ben Davis right here. Oh,
I checked on that.
Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. I'd mentioned that to Mike after last week's show, and he's got some good information for you right here. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Good information. I don't know if it'll be pleasing to the ears or not, but talked with our coordinator that works with our state boat ramps and access areas, and Matt Clary, and he was familiar with that situation right there. And TBA had, if it's the same one that we're talking about that Steve talked to me about there, that TBA put that in when they were doing the work with the Emery River, and they pulled it out, the courtesy dock. There's a lot of criteria that goes into deciding where we get to put courtesy docks. Right now, the average cost for a courtesy dock is around $20,000 to $25,000, and Matt told me that there's a long list of those that are waiting to be put in, and like I said in the beginning of this, there's a lot of criteria that they have to meet, and of course, use and location and all that is a lot of that, and so that one right there is not completely off the radar. But however, at the present time, there are some courtesy dock needs that are taking precedent over that area, and not that we wouldn't like to have them on all our areas. There was one on the lower end of Watts Bar that took about 20-something years to get down there just because of funding, and it's a really high used area. So, but I did remind him of that, and he checked into that for you. And that's the information I have to share with you this evening. So.
Well, I just thought I'd recall you and remind you of that, because that one game warden that was sitting there that day, was sitting on his computer in his truck, and I asked him, and he told me, he said to pull up to the dirt bank if I want my grandparents to get on the pontoon, and I said to him, can your grandparents jump off a dirt bank onto a pontoon? I don't think so. So that's why that one needs to be put in there, because if you got a pontoon, there's just no way to get on it unless you're going to climb on it from the trailer.
Yeah.
And when you climb, walk off the dock onto the pontoon, that's a lot easier for older people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. There's no doubt. There's a need there, I'm sure. And we've got other ramps, and I get a lot of people call, and it's a lot of the elderly people and stuff that need a courtesy dock at different ramps, and it's just the the feasibility of being able to do it, and the priorities of different ones that there are. So, but it's one that will stay on the list, I hope, and hopefully one day that can come to fruition. I don't have a timetable for that.
Well, I'll just keep calling in to make sure it is on the list. How about that?
That's fair enough, sir. And we appreciate you bringing that to our attention as well.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, thank you, caller.
Bye.
Okay, how much time we got? Okay, we're gonna take another call. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, caller. I think I might have cut you off. If you'll call back, we'll try to get to your question for sure. Now Matt Clary, is his number in this guide
If you'll
anywhere?
Call the Region 3
Region
office
office?
and ask for Matt Clary, and
Okay.
he's the one that'll go to our access areas and stuff. And
All right.
he's a man of many hats. He's got a lot of responsibilities, but one of them is the ramps and stuff at our TWRA access areas.
Good deal. So caller, I hope you're still watching the show. You need to call that Region 3 office up there and get a hold of Matt and follow up on this dock down there. I'd like to see one down there myself, for sure. Yeah, we're going to take a break right now.
One of the sponsors for the Let's Go Fishing show, and seemed like they're all out. I did talk to the owners, and they were out on the job, so we thought we'd just get a couple of minutes here in front of the store and some of their advertisements and let you see what kind of work they do, and maybe if you need some of that done, you can get with them and come by and let them see if they can help. You know, they've got screen painting, sign making of all types, commercial and residential. So as you can see right here by the front, you know, they do good work, and just come by and check with them. If you've got any kind of thing pertaining to signs or posters that you'd like to have done, please give them a call and check with them and see if they can take care of what you need. And we appreciate them sponsoring the Let's Go Fishing show, and hope you'll do business with them and help them. And see you later on tonight. Thank you. Hey, hello, folks. I'm here at the Tackle Box in Kingston with the owner, Zach Coffey. And Zach's kind of camera shy, so that's no big deal, because we're not interested in Zach, really. No, we're interested in all these baits and lures and stuff you got, Zach, and any fishing information that you might have. I'm only kidding. We're definitely interested in Zach, and he's one of the sponsors on the Let's Go Fishing show, and we're glad to have him. Really are. Really appreciate him doing it. Zach's a young man. He's still in school, but he's getting something started early, and that's a good thing. Zach's got a lot of good baits here, and a lot of specialty baits that you don't see or find everywhere. And you know, if you people down here in Kingston, if you're going to the fishing down here close, you need to come by here and see Zach at the Tackle Box. And I'm still getting word that they don't know that the show is on TV. Let's Go Fishing show is on TV, and they don't know that the Tackle Box is here. So we're trying to get the word out, and you guys that do know, pass the word along to your friends, and let's get this guy some business up here, because he's got some good tackle. And the good thing about it is, man, he's right here on top of the lake, so you don't have to travel far to get your bait, whether it be artificial or live. So Zach, I want to say thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah. And we'll look forward to seeing Zach again on the camera. Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, we got another light here. We're going to take another call. Hello.
Yeah, I was wanting to ask the officer there about fishing lessons. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I'm 69 years old, and I have the license, you know, that's good for a lifetime. And do I have to get a special license like for trout or any other kind of fish?
Yeah, on some, it just depending upon which body of water that you're planning on fishing, as to what particular permits you'd have to have. Some of our trout, the rivers that we have trout in, you won't be required to, but some in different areas that you would. It would just be dependent upon which body of water that you're planning on fishing, and all those are listed in our current fishing guide, and it'll tell you everything that you're supposed to have to fish those rivers.
That answer your question, caller?
Yeah, I was wanting to make a comment too.
Go ahead, sir.
I had I bought my license every year, and I guess I missed license. So I got checked over in Roane County, and I said I advise everybody to keep them going every year because you never know when you're going to get checked.
Exactly right, sir. That's a good point.
I was happy I had mine, you know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for
Thank
coming
you.
on TV there.
All right. Appreciate you calling in.
Appreciate you.
Steve, that's probably something I need to address and mention, let everybody know that anybody that buys a current or a annual fishing license, those expire today. So starting tomorrow, everybody that is required to have an annual fishing license will have to have a new one starting tomorrow morning. So,
Ben, I wish you hadn't told me that. All right, I was counting on getting another day or two. Listen, people, I want to thank these two gentlemen, Mike Jolly, Ben Davis, for coming by. I've given them an open format. Anytime they want to come in and be on the show, just call me. I'm glad to have them. They're here to help us, and that's what we're after. And I also want to thank my sponsors. And just like I told you on the film a while ago, anytime you're going into their business, please mention the show and let them know that you're watching and you appreciate them helping this show to be on there. So that's kind of what we're after. But these two guys have drove quite a few miles to get here this afternoon, and we really do appreciate that. And I hope that some of the information that you got will, from them will help you.
Thank you, Steve, for allowing us to be here today.
appreciate it.
All right. Okay, Courtney.